When you get stopped by a cop, you better get it right out there quick, man. Hey, you're looking at a man here. Man, hello? Man, fellow man, hello, man here. That's what Jimmy Lynn did 2-3 years ago. I was the first one taking order one. I said, hey, you want to try even an easier one? You want to try a funnier one than just an order? He's like, yeah, okay, what's another one, Carl? What other one you got? I said, just when the cop says license registration, say, hello, man, I'm a man, you man? Yeah, I'm a man, well, man? Yeah, okay. So Jimmy Lynn did that. He asked the officer, he said, you're a man? Yes. I said, I'm a man, too. Oh, really? License registration. It's like you trying to tell another man what he can and cannot do with his property? Like the cop was just like license registration. And Jimmy Lynn said, you're a man. I'm a man. Are you trying to tell another man what to do? And he said, the police officer just walked away, got in his car and left. And Jimmy's like, that was too easy. He said, Carl. He said it on one of our shows. It must have been in an October show because he was here in November. He says, this Carl, I'm going to drive up there to see if you're for real. He said, because that was just too fucking easy. And this is what I'm trying to tell people. It is just that fucking easy. You don't have to cite the Ninth Amendment. You don't have to set the Seventh Amendment. You don't got to do all this crazy shit. Just say, hey, I'm a man, you're a man. What the hell's going on here? Talk to me. What do we got? What seems to be the problem? Somebody do something wrong? What's going on? Oh, you done something illegal? I don't give a shit about legal. And see, this is what's funny is when I say that, I used to say that to people all the time, and people used to say, Carl, you're crazy. No, I'm not. They say, well, what you do is illegal. I hope so. What? I don't know what the hell's legal or illegal. What the hell do I care? I'm not going to sit around and try to figure it out. Today it's legal, tomorrow it's illegal. Watch, it's legal and illegal at the same time. Depends who you are. Depends what your title is. Depends what your position is. Depends how much money you have. It could be legal and illegal at the same time. It's illegal to have a gun. Really? Well, what happens if you're a cop? Well, that's okay. Well, what happens if you're poor? Well, that's illegal. Well, what happens if you're rich? Well, then it's legal. Why? Because a rich guy could pay fucking for a lawyer to get it done, and then the lawyer will have it deemed that it was legal. Oh, okay. It's ridiculous. How can it be legal and illegal at the same time? It can't. And when it's lawful or unlawful, it stays that way for all eternity. Law doesn't change. Like the law of gravity, you fall down, you're going to hit the ground. That's the law. So when people say you're sovereign and the laws don't abide to you, I said, oh, really? So you're saying the law of gravity, when I hit the ground, I won't go, ow? You're saying when I get old, I won't die, the law of nature won't take over, kill me? Oh, you better believe it will. When I say I'm going to walk into the courthouse, well, don't you think the walk to the courthouse is going to hurt when I walk into the courthouse? Don't you think I better walk through the open threshold and not walk into the courthouse? Because walking into a courthouse, I can't pass through it like God can. I don't possess sovereign qualities. But when it comes to the government, something that man creates, oh, you better believe I have sovereign qualities. If man created a government, if man created a chair, if man created a pencil, oh, you better believe I have godlike qualities over that pencil or over that chair or over that government. Oh, you better believe I have sovereign qualities. Oh, you better believe I could destroy that pencil. You better believe I could take that pencil and make it disappear. Oh, you better believe it. So when they say you're sovereign is what? Possessing godlike qualities? Yeah, over what? My fellow man? Absolutely not. Over law? Absolutely not. Over that which I create? Oh, you better believe it. Do I determine whether this pencil in my hand exists or no longer exists? Do I break it down back into the atoms of which it came from? You better believe I can. And what power on earth is going to stop me? So when you hear those little things like the power, resides with the people, the people have the sovereign power over the government, that which they create, they're telling you the truth. But to just walk around and say I'm sovereign is ridiculous. But you got to quantify it. You got to limit it. You got to say what you're sovereign over. What you have certain qualities, that's godlike, that you could create and destroy. Just don't walk around and say, oh, I'm sovereign. Oh, really? You're going to float through that wall, huh? Really? I'd love to see that sovereign. You better quantify what you're saying, or you're going to look like you're mad. You're going to look like you're insane. But anyway, stuff, happened this week, so it's pretty good. Filed a lawsuit against Mike the cop. I don't know if I said that on the last show. And also filed a lawsuit against a man who did a false telling, who put that story in the paper by saying that Frank was charged with all this stuff. Frank's not charged with anything. He's been held on a warrant. Nobody has actually charged him with anything. The reason why they can't charge him with anything is the same reason why I tell all you pot growers and the guy who flew me up to Chicago for $5,000, I said, you're wasting your money, buddy. I said, they can't charge you with growing pot in your house. He says, yes, they did. I said, I'm telling you, I'm looking at the paperwork. No, they didn't. He said, yes, they did. He says, I got the, like the highest fucking priced lawyer in Chicago. I said, he's stealing your money because you're not charged with nothing. And then when I got up to Chicago, he still paid me $5,000 anyway. Next day, I went to his lawyer. Said to the lawyer, tell this man the truth. What's that? He's not charged with anything. Well, he's got very serious allegations against him. Yeah. Tell this man the truth. Is he charged or isn't he been charged for the last 7 months? Honestly, no, he's not charged with anything. Man, that guy paying $5,000 exploded. He's like, are you shitting me? Are you telling me that they've been dragging me around and making me sweat like this and scaring the living bejesus out of me and they never charged me? He said, well, there's some serious allegations there. You should take the plea deal and, do your year on probation, pay your fine and say you never do it again and get drug therapy. And the guy's like, you're kidding me. See, because this guy's wife thought I was nuts. The night before, I had to leave their house because the wife kept giving me crap. Well, why are you listening to this guy? Why are you listening to this guy, Carl? Why are you listening to this guy, Carl? Of course, you're charged with crime. You spent $20,000 on a fancy attorney, man. He knows what he's doing. This guy Carl's a nut. What the hell does Carl know? You got a top dollar attorney here, one of the highest priced ones in Chicago. Of course he knows what he's doing. Carl doesn't know shit. And this guy heard the next day he wasn't charged with a crime. When he got to court, his wife even slapped him in the hallway. He says, holy shit, you are charged with a crime. Carl's right. Of course I'm right. You can't charge you with doing something in your house. It's your fucking house. You can't charge somebody within a private. They can't charge Frank with doing anything to anybody in his house. It's his fucking house. It's not their house. They don't have no jurisdiction what goes on in somebody else's domicile. It's under the domestic authority doctrine. Everybody around the world knows that. Everybody but you USA citizens. Obviously, you don't have an effing clue. Obviously, you think the cops could charge you with a crime for doing something in your house. It's like if people say, oh, yeah, Frank's charged with a crime. He's been charged criminally. He's in criminal court. No, I'm pretty damn sure I gave Gus a picture of the charges against him. It gives you 4 choices: criminal court, civil court, traffic court, or domestic family court. He's in family court. He's not in criminal court. He's not charged with anything. If he was charged, he'd be in criminal court. He's not in criminal court. And this is what I tell people all the time. These little Susie Cupcake school teachers, 20, 30-year-old little bimbos banging fucking little 13, 14-year-old boy students. They go to criminal court. They don't go to family court. Their face goes on CNN News. The events that happen gets published on CNN News, on Fox News. No, Frank is in sort of a family court. They're not allowed to have the evidence. They're not allowed to see the facts. They're not allowed to cross-examine the accuser. They're not even allowed to. They're not allowed to have a jury. You better believe those school teachers who get arrested for fucking 13-year-old boys. You better believe they have a right to a jury. You better believe they have the right to see the evidence. You better believe they have the right to look at the case file. I can't look at the case file. I can't look at the case file. Nobody can look at the case. This is what I tried to tell people when I went to family court for 6 years. For 6 years, I was led to believe the state of Alabama took my kids away. I thought the state of Alabama took my kids. They said, no, we never took your kids. What? No, you voluntarily gave them to us. What? The 30th trial. I said, you've got to be shitting me. You think I spent all this money on all these fucking lawyers? You think I went to 29 trials before this one just to hear you fucking tell me, Carl, you could have had them back anytime you wanted. You voluntarily gave them to us. You signed a contract. What? You mean I'm not charged with abuse and neglect? No. We never went to court and had a trial. No. Are you shitting me? You never took my kids. No, we never took your kids. You're shitting me. No, you voluntarily surrendered them. Bullshit. Yeah, there's a voluntary agreement. There's a contract in that file. You mean there's this 80-year-old lady's name on it? That's the contract? Hey, all I got to tell you, Carl, is there's a contract and you voluntarily placed them with the state. I said, oh, this is bullshit. But that's what they said. When people say, oh, Carl got his kids taken away from him in Alabama. No, I didn't. Oh, well, Carl, he never got his kids back. Never got his kids back because they said you voluntarily placed them. So the Alabama said Carl never lost them. Carl could have just came and counted them anytime he wanted. Oh, really? Then how come you people for 29 trials, man, didn't tell me why you were holding my kid? Well, kids. It was ridiculous. And the same thing now. Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun. They took my 2 girls. They left the boy here, which is kind of ridiculous because if they're worried about sexual abuse, he can't really articulate verbally anything that's happening to him because he can't speak very well. He speaks very basic, simple words. And he certainly doesn't know what's right or wrong. He couldn't tell you what a good touch is or a bad touch is. So if anybody could be sexually molested or hurt, it would definitely be him. Well, they took the girl because obviously they said they were afraid that I was going to tell her to say that Grandpa didn't do it. And honestly, the girl said to my niece, she said, honestly, I went into the school counselor to say there's a bully in the hallway picking on her all the time. And she wanted to report a bully in the school hallway, bothering her all the time. And then she said all this guidance counselor lady wanted to talk about was the men who live at the house, and that the men at the house bother her. And she said, yeah, she said, I told him Grandpa bothers me all the time. Well, the only problem with her saying that Grandpa bothers me all the time is the word for bother is molest. So when people look up the word molest in the dictionary, it says to bother somebody. So the little girl said, yes, I said, Grandpa bothers me all the time. He punishes me. He yells at me. He bothers me all the time. Well, the lady wrote that he molests her. Everybody remembers that 60, 70-year-old lady who called me up on a show one time. And she said, Karl, this is ridiculous. I got a 35-year-old son, and he's got a 7-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl. And he got his kids taken away from him because the 7-year-old was molesting the 5-year-old. I said, well, usually 5-year-olds molest 7-year-olds. It's very weird to have a 7-year-old molest a 5-year-old. And she said, Karl, you're crazy. There was no molesting going on. I said, of course there is. He's bothering her. He must be flipping the TV channels when she wants to watch a show. Or he's playing a video game, or she's playing a video game, and he takes over the remote control or something. Yeah, of course he bothers the shit out of her. And the dad just lets it happen. The little girl said to the 5-year-old girl, yes, my little brother Timmy, he bothers me all the time. I'm watching TV, and he turns the channel. Well, what does Daddy do? Daddy doesn't do anything. Daddy lets him bother me. Yeah, well, there you go, molest. So it goes from the little girl's word says bother to the word molest. And then all of a sudden, you're being accused of letting a 7-year-old molest a 5-year-old, and you don't know what to fucking say. You say, that's crazy. I would never let a 7-year-old molest a 5-year-old. If they ask me that, of course I'll let the fucking 7-year-old molest a 5-year-old. Why? Because it's going to teach the 5-year-old to stand up and say, hey, don't bother me no more. See, but social service workers and cops who are legally allowed to lie to you use the word molest instead of the word bother. And the next thing you know is you're denying that any molesting ever happened any time in your entire life. When I said to that 65-year-old lady, I hope I'm molesting you right now, she said, what? I said, I think I'm probably the world's biggest molester. I think I bother everybody. I don't think there's anybody that I don't harry, confuse, that I don't make somebody think, what the hell's going on, that I make things complicated and make things confusing for people. I think I molest a lot of people around the world, but nothing has to do with my hands. It doesn't mean that you sexually molest. It didn't say sexual molesting. It said molesting or molested. So they use these silly words to make you people squeal like little schoolgirls. Like, oh, my God, Paul just said he molested that 65-year-old woman on his show. Yeah, I think I molested her for about 17, 18 minutes that night. Didn't you all see it? Well, no, Carl. We were here in a home. No, see means to understand. I mean, did you visually witness it? I said, did you see it? Oh, but that's right. That's another cute word. Did you fuckers all think you know what the word see means, and it really means to understand. It doesn't mean visually impaired, like when Jesus made the blind see. It didn't mean he actually visually restored their vision. He just made it even so simple, even a blind man can understand what Jesus is saying. It doesn't have to be written down. They just felt it in their heart. He spoke and they understood. That's how he made the blind see. You didn't have to read a stupid tablet. You didn't have to read a stupid Torah. You didn't have to read the Talmud. You didn't have to read a Bible. Even a blind could see what Jesus was saying. It was so simple.